Let me tell you something extraordinary about satisfaction. It's not found in the paycheck, nor in the praise of others, but in the silent glow that comes when you know you've done your very best. Every man who has ever risen from failure to greatness has known this truth. Joy in work is the foundation of success. You cannot hate what you do and expect the universe to reward you for it. The world pays in proportion to the love, attention, and service you pour into your daily labor. There are two kinds of workers in life: those who work because they must, and those who work because they desire to express something within themselves. The first group drags their feet, counting hours. The second group loses track of time entirely. Which one are you? The answer to that question will determine not just your income, but your destiny. Because nature never pays those who give only their hands. She rewards those who give their hearts. If you wish to transform your job into a source of joy and prosperity, start by changing the way you look at it. Do not wait for a promotion, a better boss, or a raise. Wait for nothing. Begin today by asking, how can I give more value than I am paid for? That single question has made more millionaires than any secret ever whispered behind closed doors. You see, money follows value, and value is born from enthusiasm, from the burning desire to render service with excellence. There is no man so poorly paid that he cannot become rich in spirit by doing his work with passion. Remember this truth. Every great fortune began in the invisible form of a strong mental attitude. If you are not yet where you wish to be, do not curse your job. Transform it into your training ground. Each task, no matter how small, can refine your habits, sharpen your character, and prepare you for higher opportunity. Those who despise their work delay their own advancement. The secret is not in the work itself, but in the worker. I have seen men sweeping floors with such devotion that you'd think they owned the building. And I've seen executives so bored that their wealth became a prison. The difference lies not in the job, but in the spirit behind it. Satisfaction is not what you find, it is what you bring. And when you bring joy, life mirrors it back to you tenfold. Ask yourself today, am I working to survive, or am I working to serve? Because the man who serves wins. The universe conspires in his favor. His reputation grows, opportunities chase him, and money follows like a faithful servant. You cannot cheat this law. It is older than civilization itself. Every act of genuine service plants a seed that must grow. The soil may vary, the season may delay, but the harvest is certain. If your current position feels small, remember that every great structure was once a blueprint. The value you build now, even unseen, is shaping your tomorrow. There is no wasted effort when the heart is engaged. Each day that you perform your duties with love, you are writing your own recommendation letter to the universe. Sooner or later someone will notice, and even if no man sees, the law of compensation does. The greatest mistake of the average man is that he works for money alone. He forgets that money is but a symbol, a shadow of service. Chase the shadow and it flees. Serve sincerely and it comes uninvited. True satisfaction comes not when you get paid, but when you realize your work has meaning. The man who gives more than he is paid for soon gets paid for more than he gives. That is the golden rule of all progress. You might say, but Hill, you don't understand my job. It's dull. It's repetitive. I do understand, because I've seen dull men in exciting jobs and inspired men in dull ones. The difference lies within. The moment you decide to inject imagination into your daily routine, monotony dies. You become an artist, not a laborer. Whether you sell shoes or design skyscrapers, your work becomes a masterpiece when done with pride. And pride, my friend, is the essence of joy. It is that inner smile that says, I have done something worthwhile today. You cannot buy that feeling. It comes only when your conscience whispers, "You gave your best." There is no pillow softer than that. There is no reward greater than knowing you have grown stronger, wiser, and more useful today than yesterday. Now, here's a challenge for you. Tomorrow morning, when you begin your work, act as though you already own the business. Speak as if the world were watching you, because it is. The energy you radiate will not only lift your results, but also attract others who share that vibration. Enthusiasm is contagious. It spreads like sunlight through clouds. And when you shine, the world will notice. Remember, your job title does not define your worth. The janitor who cleans with integrity is closer to greatness than the manager who cheats with ease. Life never rewards the title. It rewards the contribution. If you wish for more success, give more service. It may not happen overnight, but each day you build invisible capital, trust, reputation, and character. Those are the currencies of the truly wealthy. Let me remind you, dissatisfaction is not your enemy. It's a signal that your soul is asking for growth. But never confuse dissatisfaction with ingratitude. Be thankful for your current opportunity while working toward a better one. Gratitude opens doors that complaint keeps closed. The man who says, "I will do my best here and now," is already advancing faster than the man who waits for ideal conditions. The path to joy in work begins with one step: giving your best effort regardless of circumstance. Success doesn't come to the man who waits. It comes to the one who acts with faith. Every moment you perform with excellence, you are telling the world, "I am ready for more." And the world, being fair, will eventually respond in kind. The time will come when you will look back and realize that the happiest days of your life were not those of ease, but those of purpose. The sweat, the discipline, the late nights, these were polishing your soul. For satisfaction does not lie in leisure, but in growth. You were made to create, to serve, to evolve. The moment you stop doing so, life loses flavor. So, my friend, make this vow today. No matter what your task, you will perform it with excellence. You will turn your labor into art, your duty into joy, and your service into opportunity. You will no longer ask, "What do I get?" but "What can I give?" That single shift in attitude will transform your days from ordinary to extraordinary. For the man who loves his work is rich beyond measure. He carries a light within him that no recession, no boss, no hardship can dim. He is independent of circumstance because he has mastered the greatest secret of all, that true success is not in earning a living, but in creating a life worth living. And when you reach that point, when every task, big or small, becomes an expression of your highest self, you will understand what I mean when I say, happiness in your work is not a dream. It is a decision. Decide today, and the world will bend to your faith. When you begin to understand that your true wealth lies in your ability to serve, something remarkable happens. Your fear disappears. You no longer dread Mondays. You welcome them. You stop wishing for weekends. You start living for purpose. The man who has found joy in his labor is the only man who is truly free. Chains cannot bind him because his work itself becomes an expression of his liberty. Every successful man I have ever known was once an unknown worker who decided to act as if his every move mattered. He polished his shoes not for show, but for self-respect. He greeted others not for approval, but because he understood that the world reflects the energy you project. Remember this: you cannot receive enthusiasm unless you first give it. You cannot attract joy until you become it. If you wish to transform your environment, start with your own vibration. The man who complains creates resistance. The man who contributes creates opportunity. You will find that life treats you not according to what you do, but according to how you do it. Two men may hammer the same nail, but one builds a prison while the other builds a cathedral, all because of what lives in their hearts. The moment you take pride in your work, no task remains small. The sweeping of floors becomes the symphony of order. The typing of words becomes the rhythm of precision. The customer you serve becomes the canvas of your excellence. People often ask me, "Hill, what's the fastest way to get promoted?" And I tell them, stop working for promotion and start working for perfection. Promotion will chase you when you outgrow your current position. Never say, "I deserve more." Instead say, "I will become more." That's the language of champions. Life rewards expansion, not expectation. The universe has no sympathy for stagnation. The moment you stop growing, it starts replacing you. But when you commit to becoming better each day, sharper, kinder, more valuable, you force life to open doors that were once invisible. I have seen men rise from obscurity to leadership simply because they carried an invisible badge of integrity. They showed up early, left late, and smiled through challenges. They treated every task as a reflection of their character. Remember, people may forget your words, but they will never forget the energy you bring into a room. That energy, that invisible vibration, is your real resume. Now let me whisper a secret that few ever learn. You are never working for a company, or a boss, or even for money. You are always working for yourself, for the person you are becoming. Every task molds you, every challenge tests you, every obstacle refines you. And if you perform each duty with the mindset of mastery, the world must one day call you master. There's magic in the man who treats ordinary moments as sacred. He may begin unnoticed, but he ends unforgettable. For the law of compensation never fails. The man who gives more than he's paid for always ends up being paid for more than he gives. That's not philosophy, my friend. That's physics of the soul. Do not envy those who seem ahead of you. You cannot see the invisible storms they've conquered. Measure your progress not by where others are, but by how far you've come from where you began. Comparison is a thief of joy. Creation is its source. Build, don't compare. Serve, don't complain. When you build and serve, you rise, silently, steadily, undeniably. If you are in a place where your talents feel unseen, take heart. Diamonds are made under pressure, not in the spotlight. Keep polishing your craft when no one is watching. Because one day, the world will, and it will pay dearly for the brilliance you built in silence. Every unseen effort adds weight to your future recognition. There will be days when your spirit tires, when you wonder if it's all worth it. That is the moment you must whisper to yourself, "I am not working for today's applause. I am building tomorrow's freedom." Those who think this way never quit. Their persistence becomes their prophecy. For the world cannot deny a man who refuses to stop improving. Let me tell you something remarkable. Every time you go beyond what is expected, you activate a force within that multiplies your potential. The person who gives 110% does not just earn more. He becomes more. He walks differently. He speaks with certainty. He glows with the confidence that comes from knowing he is no longer ordinary. When others see work as a burden, he sees it as a blessing. When others count hours, he counts opportunities. That's why he rises. Not because of luck, but because of attitude. A positive mental attitude is not a slogan. It's a power source. It turns obstacles into teachers and fatigue into fuel. Once you master that attitude, there is nothing the world can withhold from you. The difference between an average worker and a master is not skill, it's mindset. Skill can be taught, mindset must be chosen. And the moment you choose to see every assignment as a chance to express excellence, the ordinary becomes extraordinary. The world bends before the man who refuses to bend before mediocrity. Listen carefully. Success is never an accident. It's the result of invisible preparation meeting visible opportunity. Each day that you give your best, you're stacking unseen bricks for the mansion of your future. Others may not see it, but destiny does. And when the right time comes, the door will swing open so wide that the world will call it a miracle. You will know it was not. It was just the law finally paying you back with interest. So work not as a slave to necessity, but as a creator shaping his destiny. Every letter you type, every call you make, every plan you execute, see it as a brushstroke on the masterpiece called your life. The artist who loves his craft never retires. He evolves. And when you learn to love your labor, your work becomes your worship. Your desk becomes your altar, and your performance becomes your prayer. That is the point where joy meets greatness, the moment when your career becomes your calling. And that, my friend, is the highest level of satisfaction a man can ever know. When your work becomes your worship, something extraordinary happens. You no longer chase success. You attract it. Because success, my friend, is not a destination. It is a vibration, and you cannot reach that vibration by wanting more. You reach it by becoming more. The world does not pay you for what you know. It pays you for what you do with what you know. Every act of service, every moment of excellence, every decision to rise above mediocrity adds invisible value to your personality. And one day, that invisible value becomes visible in the form of wealth, reputation, opportunity, and freedom. Most people want to be recognized before they have earned recognition. They want applause before the performance. But life doesn't work that way. The curtain rises only when you have rehearsed enough in silence. Those who master their craft in the dark always shine brightest when the light turns on. So keep improving even when nobody's watching. Keep polishing even when it feels endless. Keep believing even when progress is slow. Because what you are building is not a job, it's character. And character is the one currency that never loses its value. Look around, the world is full of people searching for shortcuts. But every shortcut is a long road disguised in glitter. The true path is not the easiest. It is the most transformative. It takes your weaknesses and melts them into wisdom. It turns your pain into purpose. And it teaches you that the highest reward is not what you get, but who you become in the process. There will be moments when you doubt yourself, when the road feels too steep, too lonely. But remember, every mountaintop was once beneath the clouds. The climb may exhaust you, but the view will define you. You were not born to be ordinary. You were born to expand what ordinary means. Don't wait for motivation. Create momentum. Don't wait for opportunity. Become opportunity. The person who takes one step with purpose moves faster than the one who plans 1,000 steps with doubt. Action clarifies, doubt delays, and time rewards only those who move with faith. Faith is not hope. Hope wishes. Faith works. Hope dreams. Faith acts. Hope prays for the door to open. Faith builds the key. And when faith meets persistence, no force on earth can keep the door closed. Understand this truth. You are the CEO of your own value. You are the director of your own destiny. Every morning when you rise, you are signing a new contract between who you are and who you are meant to become. So stop asking the world for permission to grow. Start giving yourself permission to evolve. When you take full ownership of your results, the universe begins to respect you. It no longer treats you as a victim of circumstance, but as a co-creator of destiny. Your energy changes, your tone changes, your life begins to synchronize with your spirit. And that's when miracles no longer surprise you. They simply make sense. The secret of success has always been simple. Do what others are unwilling to do, and do it with a willing heart. Show up early. Stay a little longer. Smile when others frown. Give when others withhold. And most of all, stay consistent when others quit. That alone will make you legendary. You see, the greats of history weren't born extraordinary. They just decided that average would never define them. Thomas Edison failed thousands of times before the bulb shone. Henry Ford was laughed at before he revolutionized the road. And every one of them had moments of despair. But they turned that despair into discipline. They refused to stop at failure. They used failure as fuel. Failure is never the opposite of success. It is the raw material from which success is built. Every disappointment carves depth into your spirit. Every setback stretches your capacity. Without failure, your success would be shallow, a house without foundation. So welcome your struggles. They are your greatest teachers. Remember this law: whatever you resist persists. Whatever you embrace transforms. Embrace your challenges, and they will reveal their hidden gifts. Because inside every hardship lies an opportunity that only persistence can uncover. The world owes you nothing, but it will give you everything when you give it your best self. Don't chase the money, chase mastery. Money is a result, not a cause. Serve so well that people feel your absence when you're gone. That's how leaders are born. Not by title, but by trust. As you grow, some people will misunderstand you. They will say you've changed, and they'll be right. You were not meant to stay the same. Change is not betrayal, it's evolution, and evolution is the signature of life. If you are not changing, you are not living. You are fading. So grow unapologetically. Leave behind what no longer fits your vision. Someday, you will look back and realize that every struggle was a message. Every failure was a compass. Every delay was divine protection. Nothing was wasted. Not a tear. Not a trial. Everything was shaping the person you were destined to be. And when you reach that stage where peace replaces pressure, you will know you have mastered the game. Because true success is not noise, it's silence. It's the calm of a soul that knows its purpose. It's the joy of a man who no longer chases, because he has become what he once chased. So, as you move forward from this moment, work not just with your hands, but with your heart. Serve not for applause, but for alignment. Give not to be seen, but to see clearly who you are. Every act of service refines your soul, and every bit of excellence expands your legacy. One day, when your name is spoken, people won't just remember what you did. They'll remember how you made them feel. And that feeling will echo beyond your lifetime. That is immortality, not in fame, but in influence. So rise each morning with dignity. Walk with quiet confidence. Give more than you promised. And remember, you are not here to take, you are here to create.